Sure, abuti honestly.
They see somebody that went to school. They see somebody that reached the level of being a principal of this or got school. But when I look at you, I understand that where you are today, you had to dodge bullets every day. You saw most people, most of your peers would see a dead body when they study at medical school. You walk past dead bodies to school. So I want to say to you, it's a great honor. And that's why I didn't hesitate to take this invite. And I say it with all humility, we get a lot of invites. But when it came from you, and what you've done and what you've achieved, and where you find yourself, I couldn't say no. So I'm here. But I'm not here to tell you, all the boys here, what everybody seems to be telling you. They tell you about how great a school you are at. That's very obvious. They tell you about the greats that walked this earth and this ground. There were indeed many. I'm here to come and tell you for 2-3 minutes a little bit about my story. And I'm going to tell you how I hope my story can impact you. I was born on the wrong side of the track. At the age of 13, I was already part of a big gang. At the age of 15, 16, I was involved in my first bank robbery. At the age of 20, I was arrested and sentenced to the worst prison in South Africa. I was sentenced to 17 years in jail. I spent my whole youth in prison. I grew up in jail. And I'm saying to you today, I read sometimes people talking nonsense saying prison is like a 5-star hotel. I came here to tell you, if you say prison is like a 5-star hotel, it's either one, you've never been to prison, or two, you've never been to a 5-star hotel. because prison is no 5-star hotel. I was released in 2003, and I looked for a job, and I turned my back on gangsterism. I turned my back on crime. I looked for a job. Nobody wanted to give a guy to come from jail a job. Every day, I would fill in forms, I would go look for a job, and I would not find a job. One day I was sitting on our stoop at home, and I asked my mom, who are these white boys coming here with blazers every day in this community? She said, they are coming to buy drugs. They're from the top schools in town. I said, which top schools? She said, Gray. She said, St. Michael's, St. Andrews. She mentioned a few of the schools. The next morning, I woke up unprovoked, and I walked into Gray College, and I said to the principal, my name is Gayton Mckenzie, and I would like to speak to your young boys. He said, about what, sir? I said, I want to tell them about gangsterism, I want to tell them about crime, I want to tell them about jail, and I want them maybe to change their ways. And Mr. Forsyth said, be my guest, go and address them at assembly. I spoke to them. I had no money. I walked back 13, 14 kilometers back home. When I got to my mom's house, I found my mother crying. I said, Mom, what's up? Why are you crying? She said, what did you do again? I said, Mom, I did nothing. She said, you're lying. I said, Mom, I swear I did nothing. Why are you crying? She said, because there's a white man looking for you. Now when you come from jail, you only hear no white people are looking for you. And I said, where's the white man? She said, behind you. I turned around, I saw this big white man. I said, hello, sir. He said, hello. He said, I'm looking for Gayton Mckenzie. I said, I'm also looking for that bastard. I tell you what he did to me. He said, Gayton Mckenzie went to my child's school at Great College, and I got 2 boys at Great College. And he gave them a talk, and that talk made them come to my workplace, and they said they want to change their lives. They admitted that they are addicted to drugs and they want some help. And I'm here today to come and give Gayton Mckenzie something. And he took out his checkbook, and I took out my ID book. So, in that moment, my whole life changed. I said to him, instead of giving me money, why don't you give me a job? And he said to me, sure, come with me. Now he worked at CHAP Security. And he drove a car that was written CHAP, 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 CHAP Security all over. And my neighbor said, did you see he got arrested again? So I went and I got my first job at CHAP. I was paid 2003, 1,000 rand a month, 1,000 rand a month in 2003. But I never gave up. And this is where I want to stop. I saved my money and I started a business. And I became a dollar millionaire. I became hugely successful financially. I lived the life, everything I want, I could and can buy. And then one day, I met a boy. And he was the smartest kid in our school. And he said to me, life is hard for him. And I said, no, things will come all right. And after 2 weeks, that boy committed suicide. So let me tell you why I came here. I saw one boy when you came in here, you greet another boy. I heard you. You're not speaking to me, you spoke to another boy, and you said, Rosh, you're not a gangster. You shouldn't want to act gangster. You're not a 26. You are 20 nicks. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't involve yourself in stuff that you know nothing about. You will become somebody's wife in jail if you continue with that type of acting gangster, wanting to be gangster. Most importantly, everybody will tell about Makaya and Tini. Everybody will tell you about Bobo. All the successful guys, and there were many that came from this school. But I'm here today to come tell you about life. I know life. And I'm telling you, life is not just about winning and losing. That's a lie. That's a lie they want you to believe, which you should never believe. For me, life is not about winning or losing. Life is about winning, losing, losing until you win again. Never forget that. Some of us don't win at first try, but winning should be the aim. And winning is not who crossed the line first. Winning is if you cross the line, no matter your number. I'm here today to come and tell you, if you look at the stats, I counted you guys here, and if you look at the stats in South Africa, there's 4 of you that's going to spend life in jail. It's your choice if you're going to be one of those. And it might be funny for 1 or 2 of you, but the day when those doors lock behind you, you will remember my words today. Live your life in such a way that you avoid jail. Live your life in such a way that you are never the critic, that you must always be the one that they critique. And that, I'm going to repeat that. Live your life that you are never the critic, but that you are the one that they should critique. You see, for me, I come from a house where there was never a vehicle. Not my father. I couldn't eat the food. The conversation was about murder. Fast forward to 30 years after that conversation, 30 years after that conversation of murder. I sat at a table yesterday where we were discussing the future of this country. And on my right-hand side was President Ramaphosa. On my left-hand side was John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA. Sitting there, and I thought back 30 years, when I was at a table where we discussed murder, where we discussed how we're going to hurt people. And today, I'm sitting at a table for us to find a way to work together and to make sure that South Africa becomes a prosperous country. So let nobody tell you that dreams don't come true. Let nobody tell you that you can't be who you want to be. I grew up in jail. I grew up in a maximum security prison. I was locked up in solitary confinement. But today, I'm sitting in cabinet, the highest decision-making body in South Africa. So I came here to tell you, I know everything about gangsterism. I've learned a lot about business. That's why my family runs very successful businesses. But I came here to tell you, don't be a fool. Whatever you do, don't be a fool. You can have your clique, you can have your group, you can have guys that you are together. But there's going to be a time when you are alone, when you turn the age of 26, 27, when you hear the successes of your friends. This one is an advocate. This one is a medical doctor. This one is a brain surgeon. But you were the fool. And you must look in the mirror and say, I am the fool. You have what we will all pay top money to. All the people on the left-hand side, we will all pay top dollar to revisit the decisions we've taken in life. To revisit the decisions we took in life. We've made mistakes. You don't need to repeat our mistakes. All that you need to do is to learn from our mistakes. Some of you don't care about your books. You sometimes forget your manners. All you think about is girls all day, every day. There will come a time for that. There'll come a time for that. Concentrate on you for now. Follow your dreams. I'm talking to a guy that, man, I'm not your normal speakers used to get here at your school. I'm different. Because I'm not going to tell you, oh, you need to be this. I'm not telling you books I've read. I'm telling you the life that I've lived. Let me tell you a story about the girl. So I come from jail. I want to go and speak to people because I use a lot of prison language, then Sabella as a language in jail. But I want to speak normally. I don't want to Sabella. So I go to a lady called Ria de Villiers. She runs a language school. I said, Ms. de Villiers, can you teach me how to speak properly and not just Sabella nonsense? She taught me how to speak. But I remember I walked into the class. And when I walked in, I was wearing overall and old All-Star khakis. And when I sat down, I sat next to the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. I sat next to the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. And come forward. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, Zama. Just to do sharp. Hey, got the umbrella for him. Okay, Zama. So I was sitting next to the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. Her name was Jackie. And as I sat next to Jackie, Jackie picked up a chair and she moved away from me. And the whole guys, everybody burst out laughing. Every day I became a joke in that class because I had old clothes I couldn't afford. And one day I got a bit hurtful. I stood up and I told the class, I said, guys, I know I'm not wearing designer labels, but designer labels don't write exams. We do. My time will come. Fast forward 7 years after that incident, I bought myself Lamborghini. So I took my Lamborghini to Bloemfontein. As I got, it was my mom, I visited my mom in Bloem. And after I greeted my mom, I went to the car wash. And I said, I'm going to have some meat at the car wash, Chisonyam. I got there. While I'm busy eating meat, people were surrounding my car. Nothing new. But this time, I saw a girl there. I saw, that's Jackie. I said, God is great. Amen. I first walked like this. I said, no. I need to have like a cool walk to my car. So I walked like this. So when I got to the car, Jackie looked at me. She said, gee, I knew who she was. I said, do I know you? She said, it's me, Jackie. Is this your car? I said, it. What am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to say to you there comes a time and a place for everything. When you have money, you can be as ugly as I am, you'll be fine. Trust me. This weekend you're going to see the ugliest chaps that used to be at your school coming with the hottest girls here. Look how they're laughing because they don't tell you. So young men, take it from me today. Take it from me today. It is not what you are born with. Nobody is born a leader. Don't listen to that nonsense. Nobody is born a leader. Nobody. No one makes it on their own. Get the right attitude. Get the attitude that attracts people to you. Don't be an ass. Love people, love God, and love yourself. Behave in a manner that attracts people to you, not in a manner that makes people walk away from you, because you are going to need people in life. No matter how much money you have, no matter how many contacts you think you have, you're going to need people in your life. So to you that sits here, and your parents don't maybe have what your friend's parents have, don't worry. That's temporary. I'm talking about myself. I come from poverty. So you mustn't worry about your current circumstances. That is going to change. But you gotta believe in yourself. This is not fairy tales I'm telling you. This is not a book I've read. This is not a Netflix documentary I watched last night. This is my life I'm telling you about. People that grew up with your principal. Prison is full of them. The difference between your principal and the guys that is filling the prisons, it is choice. That's nothing. You have to make the right choice. You might sit here thinking, yeah, when your principal speaks, what does he know? He knows a lot, which he doesn't share. He's seen a lot, which he doesn't share. I'm trying to water down what I've seen in my life for you to get the picture. Go out and change humanity. Go out and follow people and emulate people. That makes a difference. The cure to cancer can be sitting here. The next solution to South Africa's problems, which was spoken about here during the word. Dr. Paul Cook said, the country's got problems. You might have the solution. Don't rob South Africa of the solution. Take yourself serious. Take your dream serious. Be serious about your life. I'm telling you, I've seen and been surrounded my whole life by people smarter than me, more talented than me, but they achieved nothing because they didn't take their dream serious. Your dream needs laughter. A dream without laughter will never work. You need a fool to laugh. Fools are put on this earth to laugh at our dreams. That's the only purpose a fool serves, is to laugh at your dreams. So if you laugh at other people's dreams, you are the fool. So I want to leave you here today with one message that's very clear. You must never ever give up. You will do. I've got 4 companies I sold that was hugely successful. But I've had 23 companies that failed. 23 companies I started failed, 4 became successful. So failure is not an end. It's the beginning of a new thing. You live in the best country in the world. Let me tell you, I've traveled the world. You live in the best country in the world. Don't listen to fools. We live in the best country in the world, and let me tell you, you need to rid yourself of being black, being colored, being white, being Indian. You are South African. We will never build this country if we don't build it together. Let me tell you, the prosperity of South Africa is in our unity and not in our division. There will be some people that will say, kill the Boer. Forget those people. There will be some people that are racist and say there's a genocide here. Forget those people. But concentrate on the people that want to build with you. If you sit still for a second, think about this. I come from the worst maximum security prison. I come from solitary confinement, which means I was a danger to other prisoners. They had to move me away. Do you know how bad you have to be a danger to murderers? I will repeat that. Do you know how messed up you have to be told you are a danger to this murderers here? You must be moved. That's how messed up I was. But you see, people wrote me off, but God wasn't done with me. You see, when people write you off, God writes you on his list. So to all the boys and girls, the boys, I saw a few girls here. The boys, stay away from jail. The girls, stay away from the pole. That's life. I got boys and girls. I tell my boys, stay away from jail. My girls ask me and ask daddy. I say, stay away from the pole. Then you'll be fine. So to the staff, to the teachers, I've got 2 messages for you. Number 1, I want to congratulate you for raising such fine young men over the years. Teachers are not being paid a lot of money. Don't take my word, just go to the parking lot. They do this because they love it. Most teachers you see here already knew from a young age who they're going to be. They're going to be teachers. And the greatest joy for a teacher is not money. It is seeing somebody that they thought become somebody. That is your gift to them. They give to you as education, life skills. Your gift to them is to use that and make something of it. And to the teachers, I'm going to say the child here that deserves your love the least is the one that needs it the most. And if you can teach with that in mind, the child here that deserves your love the least is the one that needs it the most. Because there's something in every one of us. So to you that sits here, find what is special in you. Find what is special in you, not what is wrong in others. We live in a world where everybody is trying to tell you what is wrong with other people before they found what is good in them. You have no right, unless you're a fool, to look for the wrong in others before you found the right in yourself. I'm going to repeat that. You have no right to look for wrong in others before you found the right in yourself. Work on yourself. Concentrate on yourself. Build yourself. Love people. But most importantly, be kind. Be very kind in life. Kindness pays. I'm telling you today, kindness pays. Everything I've achieved. They say, how did you achieve this house? How did you achieve this? How did you achieve this? It's kindness. And if you don't believe me, let me end with a story about kindness. How everything I've achieved today is because of kindness. Everything I have is because of kindness. When you are in jail and you consider the dangerous prisoner, when they release you, when you come to the end of your sentence, they do something which they call day parole. It's not a normal parole that you see on TV. It's called day parole. You go out of jail, but the prison authorities are not yet sure of you. So they put you in another jail outside during the night. During the day you are free. At night, you must come back to the jail. They want to see, are you really ready for life on the outside? I got day parole. I was put in the jail on the outside during the night. And there's strict rules. You can't drink, you can't gamble, you can't leave you can't leave more than 1 kilometer from your house. So at a radius of 1 kilometer. One day I'm sitting with my mom. There was no food in the house. And the phone rang. I had a little 3210. The phone rang. It was my friend Basil. He said to me, where are you? Come here, I've just won 100,000 at the casino. I said, for real? I'm coming. I went to the casino 65 kilometers from our house. I went to the casino. Basil gave me 50,000. And he won again. He gave me the 50,000. And I left. Now, he's my best friend. The next day, the evening I went. The next day I went back again to the day parole prison. And when I got to the gate, there were 6 of us. I wasn't the only one at the casino. There was 5 of us at the casino with Basil. All 5 was on parole. I got to the gate. This gentleman called me. His name was Wesley. He said, he works at the gate as a security guard. He said, come here. I said, yes. He said, the people are here to take you back to jail. I said, for what? They said, you were at the casino. I heard them now. And they said, if you tell the truth, they will give you a final warning. I said, thank you. They called us in. They asked all 5 of us, where were you last, 2 nights ago? All the guys said, no, we were at home. We're home. They asked me, I said, no, sorry, sir. I was at a casino. My best friend, there was no food at our house. My best friend won money. I went to go fetch the money, but I came back immediately. They said, Mckenzie, you can leave. You 5, you're going back to jail. They had to go for 7 years back to jail. The next day, I went to Uncle Wesley. I said, Uncle, why did you warn me? And why didn't you warn my friends? Why did you warn me alone? Because I would have lied too. He said to me, you've been on day parole for a month. You've never walked past me without greeting me. without asking me, how are you? Without cracking a joke about football. Not a single day did you pass me without greeting me. You brought me Coke and chips the other day. I cried because that was the first time in my life I understood what it means to be kind. So to everybody here, we will be fine in South Africa. We're going to build this country. Every couple has fights. When you read about the fight in the GNU, that is just couples fighting. But the GNU is solid. We are going together. Nobody's leaving the GNU. We're going to build South Africa. We're going to build South Africa. But whatever you do, you can forget anything I said here today. But I never want you to forget one thing. To always be kind. Always be kind. Don't try to be gangster. Don't try to be rude. Don't try to have bad aura. Just be kind. And you should be kind when it is difficult to be kind. You know, it was my birthday the other day. And my protectors, Zama and them. Zama. We had Zama always joke. So Zama and them brought me a gift. They took the money and they bought me a gift. I was emotional. And I asked one of them, or all of them individually, have you ever bought a gift for the people that you are guarding? Police, trained. Someone said, no, never. They all said, never. I said, why me? They said, because you treat us with kindness. So I can sit here the whole day and make you a million examples of being kind. But you can forget everything I said here today. But I want you to be kind. The world will celebrate you. The world, the universe will repay kindness in ways that money can't, in ways that connections can't. Just be kind. Have your dream. And if you have a dream, look for a fool to laugh at that dream. There's many, even here amongst you, there's 2 or 3 here. Look for them. You'll find them. When you have a dream, follow your dream. All of us that reach our dreams can tell you stories about people that laughed at us. People that laughed at us. Make your parents proud. Some of you, your mother and father will never tell you how they borrow money for you to still be here. They will never tell you that. They will not tell you how they pray at night, how they make sure you are fine and they are not fine. Make them fine. Look after your parents. Both my parents are deceased, but every day of my life I thank God for making sure that I gave them a millionaire's lifestyle before they passed. And that's what I want to say to you. To the chairperson, Mr. Marikana, thank you so much for your warm hospitality, for the perfect rendition of that. The song made me very emotional. I was saying here, I've been told that the singer of the song sang it for 40 years. And that's where I want to end. He sang it beautifully because for 40 years, he was consistent. Now you can forget many things, but never forget God honors consistency. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nothing. Sure, I would do ownership.